We've done a lot of work, but now it's time to work on the ceiling lights here for the house. In the next set of videos, that's what we're going to focus on. So if I come over here and look at my house, my ceiling is hidden right now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select my house here. I'm going to go to polygon mode. And in the graphite modeling tools, I'll go to visibility and I'll hit unhide all. And I'm going to take the entire roof here and the floor down there. And I'm going to grow the selection a couple of times. And let me see how much I'm going to grow this. I think I'm going to go ahead and let me deselect these polygons right here. Oh, don't want to select that. Just deselecting the ceiling up there. Now I'm going to go to visibility. I'm going to hide what I have selected there. Okay, so I should be able to see my ceiling without a problem. I'm also going to isolate the selection here so I can see just the house here. So there's the house geometry. Okay, so what we need to do is create some ceiling light fixtures for the ceiling here of the house, and we're going to have plenty of lights. So what kind of lights are we going to be creating? Well, if I go ahead and open up an image file, you can see what I have here is this image of a lighting fixture. Again, Google is your best friend. Do an image search, try to find some images for what you need. This is the type of light fixture that's going to be my standard ceiling light fixture here. Basically, it's a hole. We're going to need to pop a hole into the ceiling and place this sort of metallic light casing into the ceiling. In there, you can't see it here. Just use your imagination. There's just imagine a light bulb inside there or something, and that's where the light's going to come from. And we're going to have lots and lots of these all over our house. So now the next question is, where are we going to place those type of lights? Well, we're going to create some placeholders to help us with the placement of those lights. Right now, we don't have any indication or any kind of marker or any type of indicator that tells us where the lights are going to go. So basically, we have to place the lights ourselves. There's lots of ways that we can decide how to place these lights and where they need to go and how many we need. Me, I'm just going to use my good old judgment and logic and common sense to place some lights. And I'm going to go with what looks cool, what I like visually, okay? So, what could be a light placeholder? Well, you can create a variety of dummy helper objects to basically use as light placeholders. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go hold down Control. I'm going to hold down Control and right click to open up the quad menu. And in the creation quadrant here of the quad menu, you notice that we have circle. I'm going to select circle and I'm going to create a circle here. Okay. I'm going to go to its modify tab here to its parameters, and I'm going to make the radius of the circle be 3 inches. So 0 feet, 3 inches. So it's pretty small, but 3 inches is good enough. Also, up here we have a rendering rollout, which we don't want to pay attention to right now. And we have an interpolation rollout as well, which is set to 6 steps, you can see right now by default. That makes it nice and round. If I take the steps down to say something like 1, it's going to be very faceted. It's going to have these hard corners to it. So as we increase the steps, it gets smoother and smoother. But I don't want to go too crazy with it. I think I'm going to go with just 4 steps will be good enough. Okay, so now the next thing to do is to take this light placeholder and basically place it over here. I'm going to start with the back of the house, and you can start with wherever you want, but I'm going to go with the back of the house over here, and I'm going to place it so it's just below the ceiling there so I can see it. Don't worry about the placement so much in terms of precision. The placeholders are just that. They're just placeholders. We're going to use them as a visual guide as to where our lights are going to go. So I'm going to place one basically aligned kind of in the middle with that center piece of geometry right there, that sort of column looking area. And maybe I'll clone it and place another one here. And the second one is going to go sort of aligned with this window here in the middle. And I'll make another clone. And this clone I'll place on the opposite side aligned with that middle window right there. So I have those three. Now next thing I'm going to do is, if I try to select those like so, I'm going to end up selecting the house geometry. So I'm going to select the house. I'm going to go to the quad menu and I'm going to freeze selection. When I do that, it becomes gray and we can no longer accidentally select it, which is fantastic. Now we can't see the light fixtures or the light placeholders, so I'm going to select all of them. And I'm going to change their color to something brighter so it's easier to see. Maybe a really bright pale green. Yeah, something like that. Looks pretty good. Okay, so now that I have those light fixture placeholders there, I'm going to create some more. So where should I create more? Well, that's really up to you. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start to create some. You can follow my lead or you can start to design your own setup for the lights. I'm going to go ahead and place them something like this. Maybe spread them out a little bit more here. Something like that. Maybe I'll take these two guys there and make a clone there to place right there in that little strip of geometry that goes right there. But just to break up the pattern here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one. I'm going to place it so it's kind of in between this one and this one down here. So it kind of creates that sort of three-point shape right there. See that? Looks pretty neat, right? I'm going to select all of these. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to take these two, which belong to that little strip of geometry there, and you can see that they're a little bit too low, so I'm going to place them a little bit higher. Really doesn't matter too much, but just for the sake of consistency here. And I'm going to clone these guys, bring them over, and I'm just going to rotate them about 180 degrees this way. Kind of position them roughly there. Okay. I'm going to take these guys here, and let me see what I want to do there. Should I go ahead and place 3 of these or 2? I guess I could take 3 of these and place them right there like that. Bring them up a little bit, put them on that little strip right there, like so. I could do that. That doesn't look like it makes much sense. Let me see. Okay, I'll just keep it like that for the moment. Not going to get too picky about that. Let's take those lights that we created there, bring them out this way. We need some lights for the ends over here, so that's pretty easy to do. I'm just going to take maybe these two, clone those guys, rotate them 90 degrees, place in a little strip of geometry there, pull them up. Something like that. Take a couple more. Pull those up. I'm going to take all 4 of those, clone them, bring them over. You should start to see the pattern here that I'm following. It's pretty simple stuff. There's nothing super complicated about doing this. All you got to do is have kind of the patience to come in here and start placing all these lights. I may adjust some of these a little bit later. It looks like it's a little bit congested there with a ton of lights. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue moving along here. And I'm going to take, say, these 2 lights there. Clone them, bring them down. Basically, these lights, what I want to do is I want to place them about here for this little hallway here. I'm probably going to have one at the end, one at the opposite end, and then one kind of in the middle there. I'm going to take those guys, clone them, take them up to the ceiling there. So it's basically going to light up that little hallway, or whatever that is right there. Little balcony. I'm going to take this guy here, I'm going to clone him, put a light in front of that door. Like so. And then I'm going to clone him and put a light in front of that door that's right there. Alright, so I'm going to take these 2 guys, clone them, take them over here. And in this window over here, I'm going to place these lights. So basically there's going to be one of these is going to be aligned to the window on the left end and one to the window on the right end. So I'm going to take both of those guys, clone them over to the opposite side. Same pattern here. So basically it's going to be one for each end window, and there is not going to be a light fixture for the middle. I'm going to take and clone another one here for this window over here. So I'm going to place each one aligned at that window. Maybe I'll pull them back a little bit like so. Alright. I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to need a light for this hallway. Kind of in the middle there. Alright. I'm going to need a light also for this little hallway right here with the big double doors. So about right there is good. And I'm going to take and clone this guy and place him over here in this other hallway. About right there. Okay. So it's some rough placement, but it's going to help us to set up the geometry for the light fixtures. Okay, over here I have a ton of lights. Not liking that too much, so what I may end up doing is just deleting the lights on this inner ring here of geometry. Just getting rid of all of those lights. So what I'm going to do is select all those guys right there. And just hit delete, get rid of them. Alright, that looks a little bit better. I like that a lot more. Okay, so again, it's just up to you how you want to place your lights and so on and so forth. Alright, so there's all my light placeholders. Next thing to do is to go into the actual geometry of the ceiling and start chipping away at it and popping some holes in there to basically set up the geometry that's going to be for the little indentations or whatnot where the light fixtures are actually going to go. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that in the next where the light fixtures are actually going to go. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that in the next video, so I'll see you there.